today's session is a little different. I keep doing these sessions almost every month, but I do it once in a month because this is one of those sessions where we try to explore how to invest in the future, how to invest in the change. We all know the conventional areas of investment, right? A lot of you would be investing into fixed deposits. A lot of you would be investing into savings accounts. A lot of you invest into real estate. Um, and these are very conventional form of investments. You don't have to get out of this. I mean, what you already have is great. I'm here to tell you how you can invest into something which could be the future. And this is something which we have to understand. So we keep investing in a lot of products, but they are very conventional. And today we are going to discuss about how you can start investing into something which is trending, which is the future. Please let me tell you this first of all. Whatever I'm going to discuss over here, or whatever areas we are going to discuss today, we have to ensure that if you want to take any trades, if you want to take any positions, please consult your financial consultants, talk to your risk experts, and only then take a trade. All right. I will take you to the live platform. Also, I'll show you how you can invest into these mega trends. But please talk to your risk experts because financial markets, they carry a lot of risk. And if you're not careful, if you're over leveraged, if you're not doing any due diligence, you might end up losing your money as well. Right. So be very careful. Now, with this disclaimer to begin with, let's try to understand what we are talking about today. We are talking about investing in the innovative industries. We are talking about investing in the disruption areas, and I'll tell you about what disruption is. Look at this quote from John Chambers, who is the executive chairman of Cisco Systems. And he says, at least 40% of all businesses will die in the next 10 years if they don't figure out how to change their entire company to accommodate new technologies. Now, this is important, right? Today, we are breathing technology. Technology is everywhere. In fact, we are doing this webinar because the technologies exist. All of you have your phone, you do WhatsApp, Facebook, Instagram, book your tickets, uh, do almost everything with the use of technology. If internet wasn't there, this world wouldn't be what it is, right? We are going through a major digital transformation. So why not invest into that? So this is something which we have to learn today, that what kind of megatrends are going on. Look at the small chart which we saw. So this was some kind of a survey which was taken, digital disruption as we call it, and I'll tell you what disruptive technology is, because now all people talk about is the era of disruption. The reward which you get by investing in innovative technology stocks, the rewards have been so enormous, so high. And the most evident example, I'm sure many of you have seen Tesla, right? A lot of you know what Tesla is, what Tesla does. You talk about SpaceX or electric cars, this is what Tesla does. Tesla's share price skyrocketed from, excuse me, Tesla's share price skyrocketed from $90 in 2020 to $900 in early 2021. This is what technology does. A very common law of investing is that the most rewarding opportunities are often the riskiest. Now, this is not a new concept. I'm sure many of you are already here who know about this. You already know that something which has a higher risk perhaps will have a higher reward. So, what is disruptive technology as we continue this? A kind of a very radical change to an existing industry. Think about a market, right, which exists normally, and then there is a serious technological innovation which kind of changed the entire industry completely. How many of you use pagers anymore? No one, right? There is no pager anymore because it is that technology is gone. Even when we talk about, let's take for example typewriters, very difficult. Very few people would use typewriters now because laptops, computers exist. In fact, at one point of time, I'm sure there will be a lot of disruption which will happen, which will completely change the way we used to look at. Earlier, mobiles were just available for talking, but now mobiles are calculators, they are cameras, they are videographers. Everybody uses mobile phones for one or the other reason. We do not choose the mobile phones now just by thinking, oh, I can talk with this phone very clearly. Audio quality is the last thing probably you are caring about. You are looking at the camera, you're looking at the processing, you are looking at how fast the browser works, the 5G technology. So this is something what disruption is. Think about telephone, right? Electricity or automobile. When telephone came into existence, it changed the way how we communicated. When cars came into the world, everything changed. Today, everyone, almost everyone has a car or dreams of having a car, right? This is what disruption is all about. And I'm going to talk about today those areas. Now, look at these companies. In March 2008, the chart which I'm explaining you right now, in March 2008, these were the companies which existed, which had market dominance. Look at these companies. ExxonMobil is an oil company. Uh, Followed by PetroChina, General Electric, Gazprom, China Mobile, ICBC, Microsoft, AT&T, Royal Dutch Shell. Mostly the defensive sectors were the ones which had a high market capitalization. When I say high market capitalization, that means those companies which had a very high market value, those were the companies which existed, right? So I'm sure now also, if you would take another chapter and see, I'm sure you must be interested to know what happened in the next 12 years. This market dominance, did it existed? So the very answer to this question is absolutely not, because in the next 10 years, what we saw was Exxons and Gazproms, they do not hold the highest market cap anymore. It is held by the companies, that's right, tech, Alphabet, Apple, Microsoft, Amazon, Tencent. Um, then we go to Alibaba, we go to Facebook, right? The major capitalization, Apple is a $1 trillion company, Amazon $1 trillion company, Microsoft $1 trillion company, Alphabet $1 trillion company. Tell me, how many of you today still use Google as your search engine? I'm sure a lot of you do, right? How many of you use Excel in a Microsoft system? I'm sure a lot of you do, right? How many of you probably have an iPhone? I'm sure most of you do. So when we are talking about, a lot of you must be ordering from Amazon. So these four companies not only have the higher market cap, but their usage continues to increase. Either whether it is a new iPhone, or if you have to search something, you have to use Google, your Gmail address, your Microsoft Excels, Microsoft PowerPoint, Amazon deliveries, Amazon Prime, everything, right? So what we understand is, sorry, now in 2018, and currently the way market is going, technology holds a very important game, and it's a very important area of investment as well. Now, as we said, what disruptive technology is? Disruptive technology is any technology which is kind of bringing a radical shift, a radical change, a complete transformation of how the world works. So we talked about electricity was such invention, we talked about telephone, we talked about automobiles, even internet was a disruptive technology back then, right? When internet came, it completely changed how we see the world, how the world functions. Similarly, we are coming up with a lot of innovative platforms which have been evolving, and there are technologies behind it, and some of those platforms is what I'm here to discuss today. So if you can see in my presentation right now, I hope it is clear to everyone. And guys, please continue to ask any questions if you have. I will take you to the live platform and show you that how you can use this platform to invest into these areas. Till then, if you have any questions, please go ahead and ask. I'll try to answer my best. Now, look at these sectors, guys. This is what is going on right now. We are looking at artificial intelligence, genomic revolution, robotics, clean power, blockchain technology, and I'm sure just to describe a bit about all these things, look at artificial intelligence. Now, when we talk about AI, a certain element of a sci-fi comes into our mind, where we are thinking that the world will be taken over by robots, right? There will be a complete person so talk about Siris and Cortanas and Alexas, virtual assistants, right? This is all AI technology. So even artificial intelligence, if you see, these are a kind of learning system. They have the power to transform all sectors in the economy, and even those which we always thought that, oh, this cannot be disrupted by technology, this is developed at what it is. But even now, if you see healthcare, if you see financial services, whoever thought that when you go to a bank there would be no tellers? You always thought that if you have to deposit money, if you have to withdraw money, there is always a teller, right? But if you go to many places, you go to Dubai, you go to China, you go to so many places, banks have automated, right? You can open your accounts on apps. This is what AI is all about. It is increasing in a way that even those areas which we always thought were not, will never be able to disrupt, even now they are being disrupted also with the use of technology. So to put things into perspective, uh, until recently, humans, they programmed softwares, but now with AI, with deep learning, and with all the data, artificial intelligence can actually use this data to write the own software. Like imagine a technology is creating technology. How amazing is that? Until now, we always thought that humans are creating technology, but humans have created something which is able to create a separate technology, and that's what deep learning and AI is all about. So when we look at the market capitalization, like according to a lot of analysts, this particular AI sector, which is called deep learning, it will add $30 trillion to the equity market in the next 15 to 20 years. So if now the capitalization is around $2 trillion, in the next 15, 20 years, you might see it 30 trillion also. It's a growing industry. It has not grown yet. It's an emerging growing industry. And just to understand how great and big this opportunity could be, it just took 2 decades for the internet to add $13 trillion to the equity market globally, right? And this was, all of us have seen the growth of technology stocks. So when we are talking about artificial intelligence, we are looking at all these companies which go into cloud computing, live streaming, mobile connected devices, Internet of Things. What is Internet of Things? Internet of Things means those companies uh, which are using the technology to reduce internet traffic. So companies like those, just think about those companies. Today, the traffic is not just on the roads. Perhaps it is less on the roads due to the fear of pandemic. Although I'm sure people living in Dubai right now respectfully disagree. There is a lot of crowd in Dubai, and because of the expo, because of a lot of things, lockdown is over, pandemic is at a status quo. But then there's a lot of crowd on the road now. Imagine so many people, and then imagine so much internet being used. What will be the impact on the networking traffic? So there are companies which are available as stocks which work on reducing internet traffic. So this is something which is the big change is all about, right? We're going to talk about something called as mega trends. This was the very topic, that invest in the change, invest in the mega trends. This is what mega trends are all about, and there are a lot more sectors which we'll discuss about. Next, we go to genomic revolution. Now, revolution is also called something. Uh, I'm not sure how many of you have heard about this, but this is also called DNA sequencing. Now, this is the next wave of innovation in the healthcare treatment. We already know how important healthcare is. I mean, one thing which 2020 taught us was that healthcare sector is something which is really important, needs to be more developed, needs to be more automatized, because at the end of the day, if a pandemic hits and if you cannot go to the doctor, then doctor should come to you in the form of technology. So we are obviously focusing a lot on healthcare and any innovation which happens in healthcare, right? So when we are looking at the next wave of innovation, it is already underway, and now it uses your genetic information, your DNA, just to understand that how your body works, right? Because one full human being, you as an individual, you have a DNA sequence, and that DNA sequence can be studied, it can be understood to identify that is if there is a possibility of you getting an ailment or a disease and what kind of disease it could be, how to prevent it, how to be ready for that, right? The idea to use DNA sequencing is to basically identify the patients, detect their diseases earlier, and then finding out the precise therapy to cure that disease. Now, that took $3 billion in 2003. Do you know how much DNA sequencing takes now? It took almost $3 billion to sequence the entire human body, and it took almost 10 years for computation of that. Same technology, same thing now happens in $600. It takes a couple of hours to assemble that. That's how fast the technology has become, right? So there's a lot of technological and scientific development which is happening now in gene editing, in DNA sequencing, and there are a lot of companies. See, let me give you one example of this. uh, Imagine if, I'm sure there are a lot of people right now. I have a lot of friends who had friends and relatives who, those people who fought really brave during their cancer treatments, but eventually they succumbed to that disease. Imagine early cancer detection by reading DNA signals in the blood. Now that is something which is becoming a reality, and I'm sure within the next 5-10 years, this is something which we'll definitely see. So now there are those companies which are working on it. These are listed stocks in the market, and that is all what we are here to discuss about. Sorry, I just got a message. Somebody lost my voice. Can you hear me again? Can you hear me properly? If you can hear me, please send me a yes or okay. Just want to make sure that everybody can hear me right. If you can hear me, please send a yes or a okay. Somebody just sent me that they lost my voice. Um, I just want to make sure that it's not an error from my end. Okay, 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 okay. Everybody can. Okay, fine, perfect. Thank you so much for responding. Thank you so much. Now, so this is what GNA genomic revolution is, and by the way, this is not something which I am saying. If you talk to your fund managers and you walk out, you talk to your fund managers also. There are funds designed, mutual funds designed, ETFs designed to focus on those companies that are doing DNA sequencing, right? So these are legit companies, these are publicly based companies. Is there a risk? Of course it is. Anything related to biotechnology or technology, it has risk. But then today we are here to discuss about how much potential these areas have. It is given that these areas have risk because these are emerging. Today, if I talk about space exploration, I'm sure everybody has a different opinion. Let me take a poll right here. This is my question. Do you believe that there is potential in space exploring companies? And I'm talking about these companies like SpaceX and Virgin Galactic, right? Yes, no, and preview and publish. Just take a poll. Just want to give you one example of how generalized at times and how different at times the opinions can be. Space exploration is a very, should say, it's a fascinating thing. We saw stocks of Virgin Galactic initially went up, then they came down. We saw Blue Origin, the Jeff Bezos company, also trying to explore space. We saw SpaceX, of course, much talked. I have right now in my poll around 80% of the people they believe that this is space exploration. That there is a lot of potential in space exploration. But on the other side, I have 20% people who do not believe in space exploration. My point being that there will always be a risk because there will be people who would believe in it, they would buy the stock. There will be people who won't believe in it, who would not buy. But at the end of the day, we should know about how these sectors actually work. Followed by, if you see, robotics for that matter. AI we understood, but let's understand about robotics a bit because earlier we have seen people were not very okay to, they always resisted technology coming in, right? Because the most important question of the day is Will robots replace humans? This is the most important thing, right? Because when a life-threatening coronavirus came, that completely changed this resistance into acceptance. In last 1 2 years, people have accepted uh, being served by robots. In fact, it's not a problem at all. And a lot of sectors have actually started accepting it because it became the need of the hour. So that resistance became acceptance. And now robots are taking over the work environment and way earlier than it was expected, by the way. So if you see any advances in softwares and sensors, it should enable robots to operate within humans in all sorts of environments. And look at how it's going on. There's an aging population, right? Aging population will boost a lot of space where robots will take over. So why I feel it that way, because more aging population, that means it needs a lot of health monitoring for those old people. Now for them to monitor their health, if this aging population increases, they will need more and more robots to ensure that the right technology is provided, self treatment happens, especially among the elders, right? And if the unit cost per unit cost declines significantly, that is a win-win, because now a lot of people are actually working on the idea to make robots and humans coexist without taking away the sectors, because this is something which has been the most important discussion, right? That is what the resistance has. But now there are a lot of authorities which are working towards combining robots and humans together to ensure that technology is more of a complement rather than a replacement, right? Uh, Clean power. Now, there's a thing. So, robotics, there are areas like 3D printing companies, drone companies, reusable rockets companies, right? Those companies which are refurbishing the space rockets. Tesla is using a lot of those. 3D printing companies, that is certainly the future. And then drones. Think about drones, what they have done. Drones have single handedly took away 2 jobs. I mean, I like to believe that. Uh, Nowadays, if somebody has to take an aerial view, uh, maybe barely a lot of people would use drones in movies. Sometimes it's easier to take a movie shot rather than taking a helicopter and a videographer shooting the aerial view, right? You can do it from the drones now. Drones are delivering food, right? That happened in pandemic. So again, guys, these are the companies, these are the areas which we are very much aware about, and these are happening. This is happening right now while we talk. So my whole idea to discuss these areas is that whatever you have as an investment is amazing, it's brilliant. I'm sure that you have considered risk and reward before you have gone into there. Just open a leg and be open to these ideas also, right? Followed by clean power. Now clean power, definitely something which we know is here to exist. In fact, Dubai has they they bid for COP26, next COP, the climate meeting in Dubai. They bid for it, and I think they have won it as well. So climate change is real, and steps are being taken. And at the same time, there's a lot of green powered talk to replace fossils. A lot of green technology sectors that are hitting really crucial points, they're transitioning from hypothetical to actual technologies, right? You are actually seeing the products becoming more profitable. Tesla was one of those companies whose stock price was very high, but it was never profitable. But now it is becoming profitable. In a lot of cases, there's a lot of social pressure which has finally now tipped the scale. So if you go to Europe, I'm sure all of you are living in Dubai at least once, you must have seen. You go to Europe, you will see always more bicycles. You won't see many cars. Even if there are cars, they make sure that they're energy efficient. Battery cars, the use is really high. Even in Dubai, I'm sure now the use of electric vehicles, battery vehicles is increasing, and they're really focusing in the next 10 years to make it much more better. So green power is something which is here to stay. And if you see for the longest period of time, eh, electric cars is not a new concept. Like for decades, it's been there, right? Long time. If you see electric cars, they were not very profitable. It existed for the longest period of time, but they, first of all, they looked ugly. They were not really profitable also because the battery range was short, costs were too high. If somebody is buying an electric car, it's basically a less efficient product at a very high price. Now, today, things are different. The production costs, they have fallen down. Consumer preferences have changed. Everybody wants to go green. From toothbrush to an automobile, people want to go green. So this is something which is again the emerging future, right? And when I say about, so this, let me make this very clear. There's a question that should we just go ahead and invest in Tesla? So the whole point is, it's a very good question, because a lot of times, um, when I say green energy, clean energy, people think, okay, we are referring to Tesla. But think about this. When I talk about green energy, along with this, what else comes in? If Tesla uses battery vehicles, those battery vehicles will be charged where? At a battery station. Think about a company which is creating that battery station infrastructure, right? And when these batteries, they get discharged or they are out of use, these batteries are recycled, right? Think about those companies which recycle these used batteries. Think about those companies which provide packaging for these electric batteries. So when I say about green energy, it's not just Tesla, it's everything around that entire sector which exists, because if the sector booms, then will all of these companies. So renewable energy companies, battery systems, electric vehicles, battery packaging companies, electric chargers, charging stations, infrastructure companies, all of this gets benefited, right? So this is clean power area which we are looking at. Blockchain technology, I'm sure by now blockchain, it kind of gets mixed with Bitcoin. Let me tell you this thing: you would not buy Cisco stocks just because the internet exists. Blockchain and Bitcoin is a kind of the same relationship. I wouldn't say exactly, but this is what it is if I were to roughly see it. Because blockchain is utilized to enhance a smarter payment system. Today, you tell me, if you have to do, I'm sure there are a lot of people who have businesses, maybe here or maybe in India, or if you have to use cross border transfer, how many times we see that when you transfer it to a different country, a business payment, it takes a lot of time, first of all, to reach the payment to the party outside the country, and it takes a lot of cost. Now, blockchain technology is utilized to enhance smart payment systems, make global money quick transfers, right? And not only just quick global money transfers, but secure these financial transactions, advanced shipping, transportation, just make it everything real connected, and at the same time more and more efficient. If you're having a cup of coffee right now sitting and you did not like the taste, if blockchain is used in this coffee, you would be able to know that the coffee bean which is in your coffee, which state, country, village, farm, farmer, field, which kind of coffee it is, because of blockchain. This is the power of blockchain, right? And with adoption of cloud computing, blockchain technology is continue. It is expected to go years and years ahead. Virtual reality is becoming real, and all of this, when we are talking about, this is actually stressing more on the adoption of the blockchain technology. COVID single-handedly told us that technology is the power, and we have to understand that today, if you are not invested into tech at all, and when I say please don't start buying Apple stocks, this is not what I mean. The sectors I'm talking about are the ones which a lot of them will have companies which are not as big as Apple, right? Apple could be just one of the companies. But look at those emerging areas. We have consultants, we have experts who can actually explain you what kind of companies could be there, and you can look into, right? So these are some of the areas, guys, which I want to talk about. Uh, Together, we call this as thematic investing, and it all starts by identifying the mega trends. And what exactly the mega trends is? We are talking about these sectors. Talk about network economy, talk about technological development, focus on health, polarization, knowledge society, demographic development. These kind of sectors. Today, if I were to tell you that I'm invested into a company which is working hard to create a technology which will be used to increase the agricultural productivity of an agricultural land. Process this, what I'm telling you. If I were to invest into a company which is working on developing the technology, which provides the technology by which you can increase the productivity of an agricultural land, because we all know that the global food production, it's not enough to feed everyone. Why? Because obviously a lot of reasons. One of the main important reasons is the productivity of an agricultural land is not the same anymore, and there are technologies which are used to enhance that productivity, and then there are companies which provide that technology. So friends, once again, the agenda of today's session was not to talk about, oh, invest here, just to make you more and more aware about that there are different avenues of investment developing now. With COVID, this change is happening way too sooner than what we expected. So that's what is going on right now. uh, so we talked about AI, we talked about pros and cons, we understood. Look at the global artificial intelligence market. Uh, Revenue is expected to increase from 643 million in 2016. It is expected to go as big as $36 billion by 2025. And you talk about consumer products, business services, advertising, finance, investment, media, defense, everything. It Most of these areas will have significant revenue coming from AI. So if you're looking to invest, you should definitely look into these areas which are using AI. Image recognition is forecasted to be the fastest growing segment by application due to increasing demand for effective computing technology in several end users, right? Now comes the most important question: how should I invest into it? Right? That's why we are here. So I gave you a brief about why we are here. The second part of this, for the next 10-15 minutes, we're going to talk about how do we invest into this. Now, for this, I will take you to the live platform. Okay, and I'll show you there are three forms of investment you can do in this. You can use shares, you can use ETFs, you can use, say, for example, there are indices, there are ETFs, there are shares. And again, when I talk about different kinds of sectors, ETFs are the funds, shares are the individual companies, but there is something else. There is something new which is called share basket. Now, what is a share basket? I'll start with the share baskets first, actually. This is what a share basket is, and I'm sure you're absolutely understanding it, right? It is a basket of different companies, but related to one theme. So today, if I tell you remote lifestyle basket, use your chat options and tell me. Now there's a time, let's make it a bit more interactive before you sleep, because definitely you cannot see me and I'm sure I've talked a lot, you will be bored by now. So let's use the chat options. Tell me, when I say remote lifestyle, uh, there's a remote lifestyle basket. What kind of companies would you put in a remote lifestyle basket? Remote lifestyle. Now think about this and tell me, what kind of companies would you put into a remote lifestyle basket? Think about it, give me the answer, and keep taking names. I mean, this is something which we should definitely share and talk more. And I'll definitely share the name of the companies. Definitely, it's available, it's free of cost, obviously. But then those are the companies which will be there in the remote lifestyle basket, and we'll definitely look at what kind of companies we are looking at. Just take a guess. Use your chat options, guys. Okay, I've started getting answers now. Perfect. Perfect. Okay. Okay. I think one company is very um, favorite from everyone. A lot of you have taken that name. I'm sure everybody is now very familiar with that technology, very fond of that technology. Okay, okay, okay. Perfect, perfect. Yeah, I mean, perfectly. So somebody said e-com, which supports remote lifestyle. E-commerce, absolutely. That's a good one. Delivery hero, of course. Basically, you got it right. Zoom, for example, and I'm talking about all those companies. So imagine there's a basket which is created, right? It is definitely remote lifestyle, right? Absolutely. E-commerce, we are talking about remote lifestyle. Anything which does the job and we don't have to have it right here, we can do it remotely, is remote lifestyle. And I'm talking about all these companies. Talk about Netflix, right? Talk about Amazon, talk about Facebook or Alphabet, or talk about, for example, eBay, e-commerce, somebody talk about. So Amazon and eBay are the names. Think about probably Spotify. Think about Domino's Pizza. There's somebody said delivery hero. So think about Domino's, if they deliver it. FedEx, United Parcels, all of those. This is something which is, so this is a basket which is prepared by the broker itself, okay? And it provides the exposure to the all kinds of virtual services, home delivery, virtual services. You got it exactly right. And these are the kind of baskets which reflects the modern way of living. Like what we are looking at right now is something which is, when I say modern, which means the most updated one, right? So now a lot of people are working from home. You talk about Zoom, talk about any other team, Skype, absolutely Microsoft for that reason. So remote lifestyle. Like this, imagine a basket called driverless cars. Imagine a basket called collaborative technology, right? Something like that. Now, imagine a 5G basket, gaming basket, cyber security basket. Cyber security, I did one entire session. I spoke for 1 hour on cybersecurity stocks and cybersecurity companies. Cybersecurity is such a big, enormous area of discussion and area of investment that I had to do a whole session for the people. Cybersecurity, guys, there are at least 15 kinds of malwares, ransomwares, identity thefts, corporate espionage. There are so many things which are going on, and as the technology develops, it's not just the technology or from the end user, even the hackers, they upgrade their technology. And now, today, if I have to get an account hacked, I can pay in cryptocurrencies and people will accept it, and it's hard to trace. So think about it. Like a few months ago, US is one of the US's largest pipeline, oil pipeline called Colonial Pipeline got hacked, which disrupted the oil supply up to 5,000 kilometers. That pushed oil prices higher almost by 6%. That is what technology in wrong hands is capable of. So imagine how much cybersecurity is needed at this point of time. Do you really think keeping a caps log and an alphanumeric and a symbol or character in your password helps you save your entire account? No. We have given subscription from our own hands. We accept the terms and conditions, and we give our data, our information to all different kinds of websites. And we know this, we are doing it, but we still do it. It's just convenient, right? So from those things comes a lot of malwares, and that's where the cybersecurity comes in. So there are a lot of companies in that basket, like Palo Alto, like Zscaler, like Okta Inc. There are so many companies which are cyber, and these are, some of them are well established, some of them are emerging, and this is a lot of those. So these are some areas. Now let me take you to the live platform, all right? Because just to show you over here, this is all my presentation is. Now I will take you to the live platform and show you that how you can find out and how you can invest. It's really easy. It's a piece of cake actually. I'm going to share my screen with you right now, right here. So this is a trading application account. You can just put your password, username and password, and login. Very easy. So at this point of time, as you can see, that let's say, for example, this particular uh, account has $100,000 right here, right? And right here. Now, if you want to find out how to invest into these baskets, all you have to do is, so right now I'm looking at share baskets right here. Click on share baskets, maximize this. I'm looking at all these themes right now. Look at the performance of some of these themes. Let's understand. See renewable energy. If I see renewable energy from last 2 years, look at this chart right here. I think. This is from, so we all know what this was. Let me use this green window right here. This is the infamous pandemic fall right here. Before that, we could have seen that it was here, but let's say from that, it continued the renewable energy basket. Look at the growth from 2020. And right now, this area right now here, this is November. This is November. This is March 2020 right here. This is November 2020 when Joe Biden won the election. And look at the growth in renewable energy. Look at this. Phenomenal, right? And then 2021, oil prices started getting back and then it went down. But then it found a support price near these levels. So renewable energy basket right now, it's bouncing from this support right here, and currently it's around here. But from this, let's say even pre-pandemic low here, which was here. Right now, the prices are here. And this is the renewable energy basket. And this is the span from March 2020 all the way to November 2021. So from November 2020, right here, this is November 2021. And this is the performance from March 2020, right here, right? So like this, there are a lot of sectors. Now, if you want to buy any one of those, so let me clear this. You want to buy any one of those, just click here. The 1 unit of renewable energy basket is $11,000, but you can always buy partial. Let's say you want to put $5,000 in this basket, right? 5,000 units are already prepared. Click on buy, it's done. Just bought renewable energy basket. So one way to invest into these kind of mega trends is to do it through the basket. Another way is ETFs. So let's say I asked everybody, what do you think about space exploration? So the moment I write space, I get these mutual funds kind of arrangement, which is called an exchange traded fund. These are basically tracking funds. So space exploration, ARC Space Exploration Innovation ETF right here. You click on it, you will see this. This is priced $20. You want to buy 100 units, it will be $2,000 worth. $2,000. Click on buy. It's done right here. You don't have to go to a fund manager. You can just do it on your own. Now you have trades in space exploration fund, renewable energy fund. Talk about battery tech ETF. So you write battery here, you will get Global X Lithium and Battery Tech ETF right here. This is battery technology fund, $93 per share. And look at the growth, guys. Again, look at the growth from, look at this. It's phenomenal, right? And it's there again. As I said, it has existed there for decades. It's not something new, but this has existed for decades. Look at this. It was here, it went subtle, went down, and then again after the pandemic, this again in November came down, but again it's now its all-time high, and so is Tesla. So this is battery tech, electric. Nobody thought this would make it, but this is what it is right now, right? And then followed by, so if you want to buy this $93 right here, you want to buy say worth $5,000, press enter, 53 units, click buy, it's done. So number of shares automatically comes in when you put the value. You can do it other way around also. You talk about genomic sequencing, DNA sequencing, right? Genomic, there are funds to do that also right here. So there are individual shares, there are share baskets, and then there are these kind of funds which have a similar arrangement as of the basket. But then these funds are created by fund management companies. ARC ETFs, I'm sure everybody has heard the name Kathy Woods. She runs the ARC ETF, and this is the Genomic Revolution, DNA sequencing ETF right here. You want to buy 5,000 worth this, press enter, click buy, it's done. So it's really quick. You can buying and selling, it's there. Like you want to do long term, short term, it's really quick. And these are the areas which are really, really new. It's emerging. It has existed for from decades, but then now these are the areas which are talked a lot about, which are picking up also. About other sectors, let's say, for example, we talked about DNA sequencing, we talked about artificial intelligence. Look at artificial intelligence, for example. Look at this, artificial intelligence ETFs. Artificial intelligence robotics, $38. You buy worth $5,000 right here. Click buy. It's done. Again, in your positions right here. Nothing. Just took 6 of these funds. Again, these are like, if you see it in green, it's in profit. If it is in red, it's in loss. But then talking about a long-term effective, I'm obviously not booking a $2 profit. But then look at this. These all are emerging areas again. Think about cybersecurity, for example. I talked about cybersecurity a lot. Look at cybersecurity. Cybersecurity ETF right here, right? Let's say I want to buy 5,000 again, $5,000 worth cybersecurity fund right here. It's done, right? Look at your positions right now. The ones which are in green are in profit. The ones in red is loss. So basically, you can always create these positions, and these are, again, as I said, these are the ones which are uh, the emerging technologies, and you can always look into these areas. I'm available for a one-on-one training platform also, friends. We can sit further later on one-on-one and talk about the individual companies these baskets have, because all these baskets, they have all these funds, they have some individual companies also. So it's your, I always feel that if I were to expose myself in something like space exploration, rather than picking SpaceX or Blue Origin or Virgin Galactic, I would rather take a fund which gives me a spread exposure, right? Like where the eggs are not put in the same companies, it's in the different companies, just to minimize my risk. So funds is always a good idea. ETFs is always a good idea. Baskets are always a good idea. In individual companies, you need to make sure that the ones which you are aiming for at least have either the potential or good financials, and that is something which Century Financial can do for you, right? I have here a question that can we get this demo account? You definitely can. Demo is very easy. If you have spoken to a relationship manager today and landed here on this webinar, you can just talk back to them and they will give you a proper demo account. They will give you a demo training also. I'm available on Zoom one-on-one sessions if you want to. Currently, I'm in India. I'm getting married in 10 days. So less than 10 days actually. So, but I'm still there on Zoom. So if you have any questions, you want to do one-on-one sessions, I will be available 3 days before my wedding. So that's what technology is all about, right? It has made us where we are. We can still work while we do different things. So perfect. There's another question: how much time it takes to open the live account? Um, it's very easy. I mean, just have to submit this online, and the form is filled online. A couple of documents. It'll be done in maximum 2 days. I mean, your RM can definitely guide you towards it, but that's, I'm sure that is a later thing. Please process this, what I spoke to you about. Talk to me more about this. Have one-on-one sessions, and we will definitely make you more and more aware about what's going on with these things. Next week I'll be back with another session. If you have any questions, you can put me on an email also. My email is yogesh@century.ae. You can talk to your RMs as well about it. I'm just posting my email right here so everybody can read it. This is my email right here. Before all of you go, I would like to take this opportunity on behalf of Century Financial, my team, and my family to thank all of you who are into healthcare, medical industry, nurses, midwives, first responders, doctors, or if you have friends or relatives, husbands, wives who are working in this industry, a big vote of thanks from the bottom of my heart. What you guys are doing, what they are doing, they're fighting the pandemic. We are alive because of them, and I congratulate if you're connected to one of them, if you are one of them. Thank you so much. I'm here today. I'm alive today with my friends and family because all of you have put your life online, and I really wish the best of all of you. We'll continue to do these more and more sessions every week with a new topic and make you more and more aware. My name is Yogesh. Have a great night. Please reach me out if you have any other questions, and we'll definitely give you a lot of answers and we'll give you a lot of consultancy on this. Right? Stay fit, stay healthy, and stay invested. Thank you.